So many have been talking, and it's I don't really go into CONCACAF that much here, but I will because I was asked, Juan, what did you think about seeing, since you did see, I didn't see it live. I was doing other things, but I didn't see it live, the U.S. match against Jamaica. And the better team won. They barely, if it were a test, they got one question right that got them to pass the test. That was it. Many will talk about the grit. Many will talk about, but it's the U.S., folks. It's Jamaica. It's CONCACAF, okay? People make it sound like, oh my goodness, no. We played against Germany. We played against Argentina. You played against Jamaica in CONCACAF. In CONCACAF, anything the U.S. does, they're expected to win. They have to win. They should win. They usually win. And they often win more, much more than they lose. It doesn't matter where. People say, because Greg Berhalter, that's a different story. Now with Mauricio Pochettino, people think the U.S. is a super team, that the U.S. is going to be this team to be reckoned with on the worldwide scale. Let's bring that down to reality a little bit. That's not going to happen. Jamaica's a mediocre team in CONCACAF. They're mediocre at best. Are they going to qualify for the World Cup? They have to. With this World Cup qualifying group, with this field of teams they have to qualify. I had a lot of people give me grief over Steve McLaren. Steve McLaren is a half-decent coach 10 years ago. He came to Jamaica because he has an opportunity to keep coaching. He hasn't coached anyone in 5 years, and you saw it just yesterday with the way Jamaica were playing. Jamaica are slow in certain facets of play. Jamaica are not a team that just blows you away with skill. Yeah, do they have pace in certain facets of play? Yeah, you could say that. Do they have a great deal of skill? No, they don't. Look at the way they pass around. They've gotten better. Now, that is true. They have gotten better at that phase. But, Jamaica, a team that makes you quake in there? No, absolutely not. It's a mediocre team that lost to a team that played mediocrely, if there's such a word. The U.S. played 6.2, which would be enough of a passing grade for anyone. Maybe 5.9, if you want to call it barely passing. And it was enough, but it's enough. In CONCACAF, that's enough. Obviously, if you play better, chances are you're going to win by much more. Now, we'll see in the return leg. This tie's basically over. I don't see Jamaica beating the U.S. in any return leg. That's it. But this is what you're going to get with Jamaica, and people have to start understanding that. Steve McLaren is not a genius when it comes to, he's not going to, people are saying, well, but they won in Honduras. Honduras is horrible. Honduras is horrid in terms of football. Now, this national team with Reynaldo Rueda is absolutely putrid in terms of how they play football. This Honduras isn't the Honduras of 2014, isn't the Honduras of 2010. No. Far cry from that. And Jamaica were just a little bit more awake on that day when they beat Honduras in Honduras. So let's be real. The U.S. were the better team. The U.S. were the better team yesterday. And they did enough, just enough. That penalty kick by Demar, I hear people saying that Matt Turner's horrible. Matt Turner's a poor goalkeeper at best. But, when you end up kicking a penalty right at a goalkeeper, I don't care how good, bad, poor you are. If you're a professional, you're good enough to be able to stop those types of kicks. Ball's just like body height. All he had to do was lean to his right and be able to make the save. So Jamaica really didn't do too much. If you want to talk about that, well, that's basically it. Jamaica doesn't have anything. Just enough to get by. Like I said, should they qualify for the World Cup? Yes, they should. And it's not because they're the greatest team in CONCACAF. It's just that they play in CONCACAF, and everybody that is not the United States, that's not Mexico, not Canada, are all vying for a spot to qualify for the World Cup because those three are already in. And now, if they can't make this one, Jamaica better start playing darts because they're never going to make a World Cup especially with 3 teams like those, already in because they're the host nations. If Jamaica can't qualify to this World Cup, they might as well start playing darts. I'm sorry to say that. And I'm sorry if I sound very harsh and very straightforward, but it is the reality of the moment. Jamaica doesn't impress me whatsoever in terms as a team. Whatsoever. And this is going back to Copa America, where they were with another coaching staff. It was another philosophy. They just haven't impressed for a long time. And it's not only that, there's certain games that that they are about to make that turn, and it never happens. So you tell me, am I wrong? Am I being too harsh? To me, Jamaica's an average team in CONCACAF at best. At best. But then there's a lot of below average in CONCACAF, because CONCACAF, let's be honest with you, is one of the worst. If it weren't for Oceania, they'd be the worst confederation in the world. And if Jamaica can't qualify out of that, then there has to be a lot of reassessment that has to be done within the JFF, within a lot of other things that have to be done within football in Jamaica in order to really start saying, what are we doing? Because it's going to be now almost 26 years since Jamaica last qualified for a World Cup, or even came remotely close to qualifying to one. So what do you do? Because the team that's there, yeah, they'll get to a World Cup. They'll probably get kicked out in the first round at best. But then again, that's CONCACAF for you.